Okay, we should be live streaming now.
Okay, I'll call the meeting to order today, August 3rd at 4:07 p.m. Do I need to read all this open session stuff?
Yes,
Okay.
unless you'd like me to.
Oh, go ahead, Marty.
As authorized by the governor's emergency executive order issued on March 12th, the Ukiah Unified School District Personnel Commission will conduct personnel commission meetings via video conference and telecommute until further notice. The meeting will be streamed via, tonight we are live on Facebook, and it will be aired on UUSD Live at a later date. Members of the public who wish to address the commission during the meeting are asked to please use the public comment forms on the UUSD Personnel Commission website. The forms, as I said, are available on the Personnel Commission website and under or above the agenda meeting.
Okay, can we do roll call, please?
Kathy James is absent. Susan Scher,
Here.
Martha Giacomini.
Here.
The quorum is
Okay.
established. Thank you.
Shall we do the pledge?
Mhm.
Okay, I'm not going to ask for a volunteer. I think we can all just do it. Okay, ready to begin?
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, so Martha, you're going to need to make all the motions then.
Okay,
So can I have a motion to approve today's agenda, please?
I would like to make a move. I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda.
I second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The motion passes. And, okay, organizational updates. So this is an opportunity for any commission members or district administration or CSEA representatives to make an announcement, report on their own activities, or ask questions. Is there anyone present who would like to give an organizational update? No one from the unions here, I see.
I don't believe so, no.
Okay, Martha, do you have anything to say?
I do not.
Okay. So, all right, we'll move on to community input. Are there any members of our audience who want to address the commission regarding any items not listed on the agenda? Do we have, Marty, any public comment forms submitted?
No community comment forms were submitted prior to the meeting.
Okay, so there being no comments, we'll move on to agenda item 7.1, the consent agenda. Can I have a motion, please, to approve today's consent agenda?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, no nays. The motion passes. And so we move on to reports. Oh, wait, I gotta get to my right page here. Sorry, I'm just scrolling on my little tablet here.
I think it's me.
Yes, okay. Nicole, Assistant Superintendent, may we hear your report, please?
Yes, gladly. So most staff is back. Well, many staff members are back. Most are actually not back. Most of our 10-month and our teachers are not back yet, but many are coming back. Most came back. Most of our 11-month came back last week. So we have trainings going and trainings planned. So it's a very, very busy time of year for Marty and I, both because we still have lots of recruitment to do. COVID is still very much a part of what we're doing in schools, although it's our COVID safety plan is going to be different than it was last year. So actually there's a school board meeting starting shortly to go over, and one of the things on the agenda is to go over an updated COVID safety plan. So one of the things going out right now to our employees is we call it the COVID attestation, COVID vaccination attestation. As you may know, employers can allow employees in certain situations to remove their mask, but if they're vaccinated. And then of course, quarantine in the event of a possible exposure is going to be different for people who are vaccinated than for those who are not vaccinated. So one of the things that we need to do is gather information from our employees about who's vaccinated. Employees don't have to tell us if they're vaccinated, but if they don't tell us, we're to presume that they're not vaccinated, and then they would follow any requirements that an unvaccinated employee would follow. So we've got a lot going on. Marty and I both went together to a job fair last week. That was not well attended, but I'm crossing my fingers that we got a couple people that are interested in applying for Ukiah Unified. It was in Lake County. And you are probably hearing on the news about how employers are really working hard to get employees and the challenges that there are out there, and we are feeling them quite acutely in Ukiah Unified. There are lots and lots of positions at a time when there's various changes or programs that we are required to implement that require additional staffing. That, along with the challenge of just getting people to apply for positions that we normally have, but that we have nationwide right now, and then we have increased positions as well. It is a pretty profound difference between the number of applicants we have and the number of positions we have. We need a lot more applicants. So that's a big challenge that we're facing right now. We're definitely working hard to get our teaching positions filled. Those are, of course, an obvious priority to get every classroom teacher position filled. But our paraprofessionals and bus drivers, those are two critical positions that we just continue to be short in. And so not only do we need to fill those, we'd like to have subs so that if anyone needs to be absent, we have someone to fill in their space. So there's just a lot of work ahead of us as we try to navigate through this really, really unique and challenging time.
Can you guys see me?
Yes, hi,
Okay.
Kathy.
Hi,
Hi,
Kathy.
Kathy.
Sorry,
Have your seat now. So
I
you
was
know all
dealing
these
with-
things, I'll just-
Thank you. I was dealing with an appliance problem here in person. So anyway, I'm here, and we'll move on to our Personnel Commission Director's report.
Okay, wait, Nicole, I think I have some questions for Nicole.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, questions.
So Nicole, given the attestation requirement, do you anticipate there will be any teachers who won't sign that or won't say whether they're vaccinated or
So
not?
it's a Google form. And so we send out the Google form and they complete it, and it populates a spreadsheet for us. And as we get closer to the start of the school year, the vast majority of our, I think at this point we have close to 700 of our 800 employees who have filled it out. It might be 650. So most people are completing it. Anyone who doesn't complete it, we'll give them a phone call and just simply ask them, are you vaccinated? And if they say, I don't want to tell you, then we just will put that they decline to state. So I don't anticipate many will be withholding as far as not filling out the form. We do have some that they just don't want to tell us, and that is their prerogative.
So what happens with the classroom if teachers are not vaccinated or won't say?
Well, they will still be able to, they'll still be in the classroom. It's just that right now it's looking like the plan, the requirements will be that sorry, there's somebody knocking at my door. I got a little distracted. The requirement will be that everyone wear a mask when students are around, that whether they're vaccinated or unvaccinated. When students leave, staff who is vaccinated should be able to remove their mask. And so that's a big difference. And so if they haven't told us, they will not be able to remove their mask when indoors at all, whether students are around or not.
Okay. It's going to be an interesting fall.
Mhm.
Any other questions?
So I just got a text that we are live on Facebook. I think that, but we knew that. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Kathy, we didn't share that with you. We are live on Facebook right now because there was a conflict with a special board meeting that is being aired on UUSD Live. And so this will be broadcast on UUSD Live in a day or two when Ian can upload it.
Okay, that explains why I got text messages that we were being watched. Okay. All right. So any further questions for Nicole?
In our packet, it mentioned about the job fair and that there was encouraging news that there might be some applicants for bus drivers when you and Nicole.
Correct. We have gotten one new applicant, so but it was only a couple of days ago. So I'm hoping that in the next couple of days that we will get some more. The other thing I'd like to, I'll be making contact with the transportation department. Last time I checked with them, they weren't quite sure, but I want to find out when they anticipate having another training session because they can only offer it so often. And being able to give our applicants that information will help.
And all the routes are covered? We have enough drivers to cover all routes?
No.
No, wow.
No.
Okay.
Which is
Okay.
another issue because then it pulls the staff that normally train new bus drivers out of those trainings to do routes, which delays getting new bus drivers that much further. It's kind of a really horrific avalanche.
Sure, domino effect. But,
Domino effect.
Yeah, for
Right.
sure. Okay.
Okay. Martha, Susan, any other questions?
Oh, that's all. I'm so sorry. This is so hard. It seems like
Yes.
it's a story we're hearing a lot lately in just about every industry.
It looks like we're going backwards a little bit in many ways, but
Right.
it is what it is. But we're going to move forward in this meeting. So if you all are ready, I will ask Marty to give her report as our Personnel Commission Director.
I'm going to keep it very brief. Beyond what I reported out in office happenings, it is global. I was on vacation and everyone I spoke to, because I have a very difficult time not talking HR wherever I go. And it was a very common theme that people are having a very difficult time opening and staying open because of the shortage of available employees. So it's not unique to UUSD. However, as Nicole alluded, we have all these unfilled positions, and I reported some of them in the PC happenings, but as of 20 minutes ago, we had 68 classified openings, 50 of which are paraprofessional or teacher's aide positions. So if anybody out there is interested in a full-time or part-time job, working with students to help them with their education, please come and see us at the Personnel Commission for Ukiah Unified at www.uusd.net. And that's really all I have to report unless somebody has questions.
Any questions, commissioners?
No.
Okay, no? Okay, so moving on to number 9 in our agenda. 9.1 is a discussion, it's a notification of timelines of appointment and reappointment of the Personnel Commission appointee for a 3-year term beginning December 1, 2021 to November 30th, 2024. And this is per Ed Code 45-246. This would be Susan's position, correct?
Correct. So I kind of did a rough timeline, working backwards, and just to get an idea of what that would look like. I did post something on Indeed because it's more based for a local advertisement, and we will have something on the UUSD Facebook page. And I'm looking at a couple of other local flyers that go out fairly regularly to the local community. I also included an informational packet that we attach to those advertisements, as well as have on our Personnel Commission webpage. And there are QR codes where if you hold your cell phone camera up to it, it will open the links to give you more information, the job description, the applications, etc. So we're pretty excited about that.
I just have a question about the codes. I tried it. Maybe I tried it before it was actually posted. Do you actually have to take a picture?
No, you just hold your camera up to it and it will ask you if you want to open the web page.
Oh, and you can be on any device. So you hold your phone, like I can hold my phone to a computer screen.
I did it last night.
Oh, okay.
Someone had emailed me a QR code, so I just held my camera up to my computer screen and it allowed me to open it. Some are more sensitive than others, so you may or may not be able to do that.
I had to
tried it
install
about
the
2 weeks
app.
ago, but maybe that was before you actually posted it. I
It
couldn't
could
get
be,
anything to
and
commit.
yeah.
That was probably the problem.
Martha, what did you say?
I actually had to install the app. My grandson helped me because I tried it and it did not work. And when my grandson came over, he installed the QR code app.
Right.
And then once I had that installed on my phone, I was able to open. Yeah, it did work.
Good.
So what's that? What's the app called?
Q as in Queen, R as in Robert, code.
Right.
And if you go to Google Play Store or Apple, and you just put in QR code, or even just Google it, QR code app, it'll pop up.
Okay.
You could also find it on the UUSD website page, right?
Right.
Without going through all
Yeah.
the-
So when you go to the UUSD website, one of the top links is Personnel Commission wanted Personnel Commission or something like that.
Oh, okay.
So.
Okay.
Have you gotten any applications yet?
Not yet. Indeed had one promising, but they haven't finished their application. So we're.
Okay. All right.
So do
Is
you want to go
everybody?
through this calendar that?
Yeah, did you want to go through the timeline?
Sure.
Yeah.
So we, as I stated, we're starting to get information out to the public, letting them know that we are looking to fill this position. And we figure a month to 6 weeks to collect applications. Obviously, as we get closer, we will expand our advertising and whatnot if necessary. And then due to some of the commissioners' schedules, we will do paper screening the week that everyone is back together, and then start scheduling interviews sometime in October, hopefully.
Okay.
And since this is a Personnel Commission appointee, the position is selected by the board representative and the union representative. So that makes it a little less, there's not as much involved as there would be for one of the other two positions.
Okay, and in this description column where it says who, you have PC district and CSEA rep.
Right.
So
So-
that means somebody from the district, somebody from CSEA, myself, Martha, and somebody from the PC,
Right.
right? Okay.
You don't need me to be on the interview committee then?
I thought we could discuss that as we get closer. That was my thought, was that the personnel commissioners would want to be obviously part of maybe the screening process, but definitely during the interview process. And but that's why we're having this discussion. So I have a better idea of what you guys would like, so we can plan accordingly.
Well, Kathy, you just mentioned it would be you and Martha. I don't need to be on it unless you want me to be. It
Well,
would- I
that's
mean,
up,
certainly you and Martha need to be on it for sure.
yeah, I said that because I wasn't sure what this meant. It's CSEA rep, that's why I repeated that. I didn't know if that included Martha and I, or,
It's just kind of a courtesy to have the CSEA representative and a district representative in on those interviews, just so that
I
they
think
get a
it's
feel
good.
for who.
Right.
the
No,
opponent-
we did that before, and I think
Right.
that's a good idea. The difference is that the other two positions are appointed by either the district or the CSEA.
Right.
Right, I haven't had to, well, Susan's been on the commission since I got on it, so.
I
But,
remember my interview panel was, I thought it was a bit overkill. I think there were about 7 or 8 people. So I thought, if, 4 people seems more than sufficient.
Okay.
I mean, if you want me to be on it, I can, but I don't need to be. I'd be curious, but I don't need to do it.
well, how curious. I mean, it's up to you,
I
Suzanne.
know you.
Seriously, I have no problem with you being part of it. It's up to
I
you.
mean, I'll
Why,
just
if you
put
want
that
to think
I'm
about it,
available, But my feelings won't be hurt if you would prefer that it just be the remaining
you
members.
think about it, and then we have time to decide that.
Okay, sure.
All right? I mean, Martha, are you good with that?
Yeah, I think we should think on it. Yeah.
Okay, all right, let's do that.
All right, sounds good.
Okay. All right, so this is just discussion, right?
It
Or
is
do
just
Yeah.
discussion. And so if
Yeah.
you like, I can bring it back to the September meeting just for an opportunity for you to discuss it further. Otherwise, we'll just kind of let it be.
I think I don't even know if we have to discuss it other than
September meeting?
emails or whatever.
Mhm.
It's not a closed session item anyway, right?
Right,
No, not at all.
right.
Okay,
September
so
28th is the September meeting.
are you
Well,
gonna
that
be
would
here?
That would be right in the middle of the week designated for interviews, so maybe we should just decide now.
Well, true.
Oh,
'Cause if
yeah,
we put
you're
it
Well,
off,
right.
interviews,
We won't.
No,
interviews
that-
won't be until October.
After the meeting, that's the
Oh,
screening week.
for scheduling, the paper screening, no, yeah.
Yeah,
So maybe we just need to decide who's participating in the paper screening, since that's gonna start before our next meeting.
well, it says the PC and the PC staff, so
Right,
Personnel
right.
Commission and staff, so.
So we could have a closed session item to review applications.
Yep, we'd have to, it'd have to be a special meeting.
Well, you could do it at the end of the meeting on the
Oh,
28th.
on the 28th.
Yeah. that would
Yeah,
make
why don't we
Yeah,
do
that-
that?
Yeah, that sounds perfect, actually.
Yep,
Okay.
I
And we'll
agree.
actually be there in person, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Hmm.
We
Okay,
will. Okay, sounds good. So on the 28th, that's when we're gonna do our paper screening and closed session, and all 3 of us will be there, and Marty. Correct? Okay,
okay.
all right. Okay, so moving on to our next Our next item is 9.2, and it's a discussion item, and it's about meeting in person beginning September 28th.
So we had already discussed coming back and starting to meet in person at the September meeting. And I did check with legal counsel, and while having one of you come in remotely is still available, a majority of the members need to be in person in the same location. So going back to our old system. So to me, it's just easier just to go back to doing it the way that we were doing it before in person. The other question is whether you want to continue to record our meetings and broadcast them, or do you just want to go back to the way we did the meetings before?
It's been so long, I can't remember. When we met in person, nothing
We
was
didn't-
recorded, nothing was
Right,
available
no.
online.
Right.
Because
Well, we-
people could come to the meeting.
We did
Right.
record them did an audio recording,
Right.
but with no video. So, we could
Right.
go back to the way that we did it before. Otherwise, Ian and I will have to have a discussion as to the practicality or the logistics of, which I know they do it for board meetings, so it shouldn't be that difficult to record our meetings and broadcast them. But I need to know your preference.
Is there a benefit to you, Marty, to have it recorded?
No, because the only thing I do is listen to the audio. So,
Uh-huh.
and I record it on a micro recorder anyways.
And then the other thing would be is the amount of views that we get. I mean, I know we're not getting that many views, so, I don't know how much of a benefit that can be.
Well, I was actually surprised when that came up last month. Didn't you say, Marty, it was a much bigger number and we were all surprised. It was like 70 or,
Mhm.
I mean, I just assume nobody watches these, but it was a pretty significant amount. So somebody's interested.
But that wasn't 70 at one meeting, I don't think.
Was that total?
No, I'm not sure, and I'm sure that Ian is probably juggling 3 meetings at once. So
minutes.
I'll check with him on the numbers and let you know at our next meeting or
I-
before
I-
our next meeting.
The other
Okay.
thing I think that is nice is, let's say a CSEA maybe cannot make the meeting, then they can view it. I mean, for
Right.
that sense, that will be helpful,
Yeah.
or other participants that would, need to hear what has happened in the meeting. Other than that,
Well, and there's also the issue of it. Are there any really hot button issues that the public may be interested in?
Usually we don't have any.
Try really hard.
It doesn't seem like it really matters.
Yeah.
But, some meetings are more controversial than others.
I don't have a preference other than the fact that I know Ian's busy. And that's something to consider.
Mhm.
Well, we can always try it without being recorded and see if there are any complaints. If someone says, I looked all over YouTube and I couldn't find you, then
Yeah.
maybe we should reconsider.
Would be a viable.
Nicole, do you have any preference?
Marty, what?
Role, I am in preference of doing things that take fewer man hours. And since
Mm.
we have to post minutes, you have to take minutes anyway. That is the record of the meeting.
Mhm.
So I don't have a strong opinion, but since you asked, that is my opinion.
The minutes are online, correct? Or
That's correct.
And do they still go out? They used to go out to the school sites, do they?
No, they get posted. Well, the agenda goes out to the sites to post. The minutes do not, but if they are announced that they are available on our website, they're
On the
available
website.
Oh,
electronically.
okay.
Yeah, so,
We're trying really hard not to do paper.
yeah, that's great.
Uh-huh.
So I think we should I guess I believe in less man hours too, because I know how busy IT is. And board meetings are much more important than ours. So that's why they do that. But I think if there was a hot burning issue, you would think whoever or whatever it was about, people would show up in person to talk in the parts of the meeting that they can talk in.
Can people still submit comments orally or written and not show up at the meeting?
We could do that. We have comment forms that we put out, but we will keep the comment form available if somebody wanted to submit one electronically.
Yeah, if we can do that, as long as there's some accessibility for anyone who is interested. So that seems like a happy medium.
Absolutely.
And I agree with Susan that if people are saying, hey, we want to have this on to watch, then I think we need to pay attention to that. Okay. All right. So we're on number 10, and we are gonna, are there any comments for our closed session?
There are none.
Wait, I'm sorry, Kathy, can I just backtrack for a moment?
Sure.
I'm assuming we're all masking at the meeting then, right?
Thank you for asking.
I think something came out that's in a week, the Ukiah is gonna require.
Yeah, I participated in the Board of Super meeting this morning, and Andy Corin's report was he was recommending all indoor activities be mask wearing. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of blowback, but I just want to be clear so we don't have any confusion when we get there and some of us don't have masks with us. So I'm assuming we'll all come with our masks and we'll wear them throughout the meeting.
Well, I'm okay with that.
The current policy is that if you're vaccinated, you don't have to. If you're not, you are. However, because the numbers have just kind of gone off the charts, many of us have been wearing masks within the building, whether we've been vaccinated or not. And I do outside of work. Anytime I'm entering a public location, I wear my mask. So
it is a county by county decision, and based on this morning's meeting, it looks like that's going to be our policy as of towards the end of the week.
But it's not mandated, or is it mandated?
I think it will be a mandate. That will be the rule.
We will, I'm certain that we'll have clarity of what is required at the time of the meeting. That's one of the things that there's periods of where it's unsure, and then here's what we go with. So we'll, as we whatever employees are required to do, will also be required of board members.
Yeah, you're right. Within a month, we'll know.
Right.
Okay, thank you. My other question is, I don't see anything on the agenda, Marty, about your positions. Is that anything we need to be discussing?
We do have closed session where we have personnel items.
Okay.
In addition to advanced placements. So we will talk about that just a little bit in closed session. I need a little bit more guidance and direction, so.
Okay. All right, so since we don't have any public comment, we're going to go into closed session, which means that the cameras are going to be turned off.